Hello, thanks for joining us today for Devotionables. These are brief devotions for busy people. My name is Gabriel. Thanks for being here. I want to take us to Psalm 40, verses 9 and 10. Let me read it for you real quickly. I have told the glad news of deliverance in the great congregation. Behold, I have not restrained my lips. As you know, O Lord, I have not hidden your deliverance within my heart. I have spoken of your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your steadfast love and your faithfulness from the congregation. God is a delivering God. We're in a section of the Psalms here as we finish up book 1 in the Psalms. Psalms 1 through 41 comprise book 1. There's 5 books in the Psalms. And we're right here 38 through the end of this book 1. But really these Psalms, David is describing that he himself has found himself in a hard way. There's suffering, there's downtroddenness, there's being reproached, there's being persecuted and from others. And God delivers him. This psalm begins how he was saying, I waited patiently for the Lord. And Dr. Betts, again in his book, I hope you're reading this with us, it mentions that, hey, the intensity of in the Hebrew language of that, I waited patiently for the Lord, and the Lord inclined his ear to David. He heard David's cry. He set his feet up on a rock. He delivers David. How many times have you prayed and you asked God, you've waited for God and you're pleading with the Lord to do something, and he acts, he brings salvation, he brings deliverance, he shows himself faithful time and time again, and maybe you're like me and you just kind of take it and go on. I think that's wrong. That's wrong. When the Lord acts, we are to respond. There should be certain things that we do in response to the Lord bringing salvation. I think it should lead us to worship. You think about when Jesus healed the 10 lepers, only one was commended as coming back and giving worship, giving thanks. And that's the second thing. We want to give thanksgiving to God. So David says, you put a new song in my mouth, right? There's worship, and we give thanksgiving to God for what he has done. It also leads us to trust more. It increases our trust, right? I mean, admittedly, I would like just to have been delivered and never go through another problem again. But we're always we live in a broken world. We're still dealing with indwelling sin that we're trying to root out and put to death. And so as the days go on and the years go on, I continually find myself in need of rescue, from help from the Lord. And I wait patiently. I cry out, Lord, help, help. And he delivers. And in that, it garners more trust, so that past faithfulness of the Lord increases my faith today and my faith in tomorrow. And I think even then, we would stop short of how we should fully respond. We respond in worship, thanksgiving. We respond with greater trust in the Lord. But also we need to respond with proclamation. In the Gospels, again, you would see Jesus do something and people would go out and they would proclaim what the Lord has done. Even if Jesus said, hey, go, as he healed the Gadarene demoniac, go home. He wanted to go with Jesus. No, you go into your village, go home and tell all that God has done for you. Are you telling all that God has done for you? David said, I have not held back. I have opened my mouth. I have opened it boldly to proclaim what God has done for me. This psalm reminds me of my dad. My dad loved the Psalms. And quite frequently, he would bring Psalm 40, Psalm 41 up. He would read them. He would talk about them frequently. His favorite verse was in Psalm 66. Come and listen, all you who fear God, and let me tell you what he has done for me, right? Do you proclaim when God has acted? Do you proclaim? And, you might not have a big, like in social media these days, we all have a little bit more of a platform where, you're not talking to millions of people, but are you being faithful with the crowd, the people that God has placed around you? We have no trouble of telling people about new restaurants. Hey, did you try that new restaurant? Did you see that new movie? 5 stars. Would totally recommend. You got to go back. Right? How come we find it so easy to recommend and rate and review restaurants, movies, theme parks, whatever? And the God of the Bible, who has showed himself faithful time and time again, we barely utter a peep. But may we be found faithful to boldly proclaim this is what God has done for me. Like the man in John 9, I don't know. I know I was blind and now I see, right? We don't have to have all the answers figured out, but you can attest to God's faithfulness, to God's deliverance on your behalf. May we be bold in proclaiming what the Lord has done for us. Blessings to you today.